What's up, Bills Mafia? Welcome into a little Tuesday edition of the Shout Buffalo Bills football podcast. Quick edition, Ryan Talbot. A little bit of update from the Bills today. We're going to get into that, of course. We've already been talking about this and many other things on the Text Insider Shout Buffalo Bills Text Insider group. You become a member of the group, sign up, and then you can text us your questions, interact with us, and you're going to get the next level of coverage when training camp starts. Ryan, we're so excited about it. How are you, my friend?
Hey, I'm doing great. And you mentioned I'm very excited about the Insider Text group. Great interaction with the Bills Mafia fan base already, and we're not even 1 week in.
Yes, and the really cool thing about this too is that if you ever have a question about how to sign up, you can do one of two things. You can just text 716-528-6727. That's 716-528-6727. You'll get a text back, a prompt, and that'll send you on your way to signing up. Or just head over to the link in the description here on YouTube, wherever you're listening to on all the audio platforms. It's just join subtext.com/shout Buffalo Bills, and you're in. All right, the Bills. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just said that easy.
That easy. All right, the Bills. We talked a lot about it yesterday. Nyheim Hines was put officially on the NFI non-football injury list today. The Bills went out and made two additions to their roster, signing tight end Jace Sternberger and running back Darrynton Evans, both coincidentally third-round draft picks in the 2019 NFL draft. We're going to talk a little bit about those two players quickly. And then also the Bills made some roster moves to clear some open space. Obviously, Hines loses his roster spot. Evans takes that. Sternberger, he is in as the Bills put in Von Miller, Jordan Phillips, and Tyler Matakevich on PUP list to start training camp.
Yeah, flurry of moves for the team today. You know, obviously we talked about Nyheim Hines out for the season. Jet ski incident, someone crashing into him, unfortunate way to see his season end. And the Evans move kind of corresponds, in my opinion, with the Nyheim Hines injury. And Evans, a former third-round pick of the Titans, as you mentioned, 2020 draft for Evans. He came in and, you know, he was supposed to be that speed option, in my opinion, behind Derrick Henry. Just never panned out for him in Tennessee. Had a hamstring issue as a rookie, and in his second season dealt with a knee injury. But in the case of Evans, he does have a history of returning kicks during his college career. Someone that I could see coming in here and competing for that job if they don't want to put a Deontay Hardy back there, if they have a bigger role for him envisioned in the receiving game, perhaps. So he's someone that can come in here and contribute there. 4.41 speed. And then obviously you mentioned Jace Sternberger, great spring season for the USFL, 7 touchdowns. Really makes it interesting for that third tight end battle now with Quentin Morris.
Yeah, I think both of these are interesting ones. And listen, I think that Evans, it's going to be a challenge to get him on the roster. I think that already the Bills weren't going to really go with 4 running backs. It's why I had Nyheim Hines as a trade candidate going into camp, because I thought that they were going to, cozy up to Latavius Murray. It's been a guy that they've liked for a long time. We've talked plenty about it. But Evans is interesting because if he makes the roster, right, if we see him return kicks in the preseason, they like what he offers, and he does make the roster, and maybe they look to cut Murray and then bring him back on the practice squad, it tells you how much they value Deontay Hardy in the offense. And so that to me is like, if one thing happens, then it's a clear indication of what is happening with the other thing. Because that's been the one pushback that I've seen from fans when mentioning Deontay Hardy as the potential kick punt return guy is like, do you want him taking those hits constantly throughout the season if you have a specific role for him in the offense? That's the one thing to kind of keep an eye on. In terms of Sternberger, I think this is really intriguing because I think Quentin Morris, for as much as they like him, he earned himself a roster spot last year. You're always looking to add competition along, different position groups. They didn't have any competition for Morris at any point this offseason. I mean, Kincaid and Knox, they're locks. Beyond Morris, I mean, even Zach Davidson, who got hurt, I didn't really look at him as competition for Morris necessarily. Joel Wilson will be a fun UDFA story to kind of track, but Sternberger is a guy that is coming off of his best professional football production. And that wasn't in the NFL, but confidence is a crazy drug, Ryan Talbot. Once you start to have a little bit of it, you could really take off. And if he can assert himself and maybe showcase the ability to be the, from a skill set perspective, an easier fit if Kincaid or Knox goes down, maybe that inches him above Morris, but he'll have to play some special teams. So we'll track that.
Yeah, special teams will factor in, and athletic, good hands, good pass catcher, not a great blocker. This was kind of the MO on him coming out into the draft in 2019. So it'll be fun to kind of track that competition throughout the summer, see how they are both doing in the offense as pass catchers, see what they're doing on special teams, and when called upon to block, see how they do in that role too.
Two other, the PUP additions that I want to talk about really briefly are Tyler Matakevich and Jordan Phillips. Jordan Phillips spent the entire spring working off to the side with the training staff. Kind of knew that this was going to happen. Tyler Matakevich is a surprise. Now, any number of things could have happened. We don't know the details of the injury yet. We'll probably learn them tomorrow when we talk to Sean McDermott before practice. But, these guys are training all the way up to the start of training camp. Could have tweaked something in training. Obviously no report on it yet. I don't know how serious it is, but an important distinction here with the PUP list, they can't practice while they're on it, but you can activate them anytime within training camp and they can come back and start practicing.
Yeah, they count toward the 90-man roster. Like you said, you can't actually practice on the field with the team, but you can get activated at any time. So, we've seen in years past some players across the league, not just in Buffalo, be put on the PUP list at the start of training camp and be back on the field within 1 week or so. So it could be something very minor in the case of Matakevich. Obviously, with Jordan Phillips, he had offseason shoulder surgery, and then Von Miller, too. The Bills are probably kind of slow playing that, getting him back up to speed.
Yeah, the Von Miller part of it is I wouldn't be worried if I'm a Bills fan. Like, I know that everybody had their eyes on what was going to happen with him when camp started. He was all smiles in the picture on social media today. You don't rush him back. We were talking about this before the show started. Like, you let him come in, get comfortable, get his legs under him before you even enter back into that practice environment. I think that they're probably going to, now that the practices are started and they have more access to the players, they're going to put him through various workouts over the next couple of days that will probably determine where he's at from a health perspective. But again, no rush. Like, when you're talking about players in this league who need this time of the year, I would place Von Miller at the top of the list of players who don't need training camp reps to be ready for the season.
Yeah, no, he's someone that you can kind of keep him off to the side until you feel he's ready. Be overly cautious if you want to. And once he gets onto that field, he's going to be ready to go. He has a long list of accolades that proves that he's able to come in and dominate and play at a high level. He showed that last year early in his stint with Buffalo, toward the top of the league in pressures and sacks when he was on the field. Leading up to that Thanksgiving game. So I think the Bills feel really good about what he can do when they feel like he's ready to go. And then obviously waiting in the wings, you have guys like Leonard Floyd and Greg Rousseau, AJ Epinesa, so on and so forth.
So training camp is here, Ryan. We are going to start this dang thing Wednesday, July 26th. That is tomorrow. Maybe you're listening to this on Wednesday morning. 9:45, the Bills first practice from St. John Fisher. You can follow us on Twitter at Matt Parrino, at Ryan Talbot Bills for updates and analysis. But if you want immediate stuff, you're going to want to sign up to become a Shout Buffalo Bills insider. It's a text group. It's this new thing that we're trying, and you're going to get all of our analysis right from the moment things happen and we're able to talk about them directly to your phone. It's a text service. It's back and forth. It's between me and Ryan and you, the Bills fan. We hear from Sean McDermott at 9:15. I'll have some takeaways based off of what he says. Brandon Beane at noon. I'm sure we'll hear from Josh Allen at some point as well tomorrow. And obviously all my practice observations, and you'll get it all right to your phone. You don't even have to look on Twitter and figure out what algorithm is going on this week or what it's even called, Ryan, anymore. I mean, what is it, X now? I can't keep up.
Yeah, apparently called X now, and we'll see where that goes. But you're right. I mean, it is delivered right to your phone, and you can respond right back to us. And we've had some Bills Mafia members asking. You're only getting responses from Matt and myself. You're not going to see what the other Bills fans are asking us or how they're responding to it. So you're not going to get overwhelmed. But whenever you want that Bills news, it's going to be delivered right to you from myself and Matt Parrino.
Yes, go to joinsubtext.com/shout Buffalo Bills. Put in your number, 2-week free trial. Boom, you're ready to go. If that's too much, if you don't want to type it in, just text 716-528-6727. He's Ryan. I'm Matt. We'll be right back tomorrow. See you then, everybody. Training camp is here. Let's go.